welcome back to the Principles of Marketing class. In this unit, we are discussing about consumer behavior, and the topic is factors influencing consumer behavior. So, in the last class, we discussed about cultural factors, where we discuss about culture, subculture, and social class. Now, in this class, we'll discuss about the rest of the factors. Now, social factors. So, social factors comprises of reference group, family, roles, and status. So, in social factors, groups. So, what are the groups we belongs to? Like membership group, which have a direct influence and to which a person belongs to. It's a group where like we are a member. Usually it may be a like club like a lions club or something. We, if you're a college student, like a group in our college, something like that. Aspirational group is something like where we wish to be. Like we may have a uncle or auntie who is in a big position, maybe a director of a company or holding big governmental positions. So who we aspire to be. So that kind of people influences. Then reference group. Reference groups is actually to the people who we look for like guidance, like our if you are working like our colleagues, it may be our friends or some relatives. So these people are called the reference group. And opinion leader or the place where we get reference. I mean, usually these people, opinion leaders are someone like very experienced, knowledgeable, who have more exposure to the world. Like village head in villages, like head are more like a person with more experience. So the villagers usually ask their opinion when they want to like get the daughters married or son married, or when they want to choose a program for the children. So they assume that this person may know. So these kind of people are called the opinion leaders. So bus marketing, actually it enlists the opinion leaders to spread the word. So the companies or business, they take the help of this opinion leader to influence their product or services to the people who ask opinion with them. That's one kind of marketing. And social marketing, as all of us know, it's the marketing happening through the social medias like Facebook, Twitter, etc. Nowadays this is a very powerful tool where again the not only youngsters but middle age and even elderly people spend a lot of time on this. So this will be an very effective tool. Then social factors, family. When we talk about family, family has a very what do you say, immediate effect or very strong effect when a consumer is deciding to purchase a product. Okay, so when they decide, it is they can, family members can influence, especially youngsters. The parents have a strong influence. Even when we talk about like a family trip to the restaurant or any other outing on weekends are being influenced for the children. Okay, so what happens? Family has a very strong influence on the consumer behavior, on the consumers. So social roles and statuses are the groups, family, clubs, and organizations to which a person belongs that can define the role and social status. Okay, like what is a social? It means what is our role in the society? Are we a policeman, a father, a president of a company, a politician? So this kind of our social roles and statuses also determine what a consumer or customer buy. Next one is personal factors. Personal factors include age and life cycle stage, occupation, economic situation, lifestyle, and personality. First, we see age and life cycle. Age definitely, I mean, determines what we buy, because with a different age group. I mean, the requirements may differ, and even a same person, when they age, what happens, their requirements and needs, wants changes. So according to the changes of need, the products and services they use also changes. Say for instance, a person who is very elderly, okay, they may need some medical services, or they may need I mean, aging old age may people may need tablets which are like supplementary tablets. So what happens when they are young, there may be some other requirements. So according to the age and the stages in the life cycle, the need wants changes according to the different requirement, the purchase different products. Occupation, this is very important factors. What profession we are, what in which occupation we are doing, so these also influence what we buy. Okay, a very professional person may go for a luxury or branded goods. Okay, people at like a public sector, they may not require, I mean, that much luxury goods, even though the salaries are very high. Okay, maybe they may have more disposable income. So occupation also determines, like an executive need, they need like all formal clothings, branded items. So an occupation is a one of the major determinant for what kind of product or services a consumer buys. Then economic situation, definitely when we purchase something we need money. So our economic situation determines what we buy. So our economic situation is influenced by our personal income, overall income, not only salary, the other sources of money we get, maybe from rental, sorry, or from other business sources. Then savings, how much savings we are having. Then interest rate, again, if you are paying something, or if you have some yeah, FDs in the bank, so how much kind of income we are getting from those kind of interest. So some goods and services are especially income sensitive, like some luxury product, branded perfume. Okay, so people who are like have more disposable income. What is disposable income means? The income which is left after all this expenses is called disposable income. So if more disposable income, then they tend to go for more luxurious products. Like now with the more women in the workforce, what happens? Families are having dual working and then dual salary. So with the increasing dual salaries and the number of children also reducing, many households nowadays in our country, they have either one or two children. So what happens, when compared to those days, like 20, 30 years before, they have more kids with a single salary. So the disposable income is very less. Now with one or two kids and dual income, so the income has increased and expenses has reduced. So there is more disposable income. When there is more disposable income, it give rise to a luxury products, like a tourism. People go for tourist places occasionally. So economic situation often influences choice of store as well, where we buy. Okay, are we going to buy from the shop in the market, or we are going to buy from a showroom in a shopping mall? So all these things are determined. What we buy also, where we buy also. Then it's a personal factors. Personal factor include lifestyle. Lifestyle means what kind of standard we are living. Okay, it includes a pattern of living as expressed in us, our activities, interest, and opinion. Like people within the same subculture, social class, and occupation may have different lifestyle. Like people nowadays with the, as I mentioned earlier, the dual income, they want to like upgrade the standard of living. So upgradation, I mean, it's quite subjective to the persons, in sense that some people, they think upgrading means like they are moving from like especially in cities, from a double story apartment to the I mean like a double room apartment to the triple room apartment, or they are upgrading their apartment to condominium, or they are upgrading their vehicle from two-wheeler to four-wheeler, even four-wheeler they may go from economical car to a luxury car, having lunches in the weekends, during weekends in the restaurants, and going to places of like tourist attractions on a regular basis. So they I mean these kind of lifestyle, they means like upgrading themselves. So I mean again, this one is quite subject to the person's exposure and perceptions. So what happens according to the person lifestyle, the product choices and the outlet charges all will differ. So people buy the lifestyle represented by a product or services. Personal factors, personality. So again, the type of product or services required, needed by the customers will differ upon the personality. So what is a personality? It refers to the unique psychological characteristics that distinguish a person or a group. Generally it defines in terms of traits, like you would have heard about like personality traits like extroversions, self-esteem, dogmatism, and aggressiveness. These are some of the traits. Like extroversion means like people who are like very outgoing, like people who want to socialize. So these kind of what do you say, kind of people, they are more outgoing, they are more like a socializing person. In other words, they like to socialize, so they like to hang on with their friends in like pubs or restaurant, and they like to lead that kind of lifestyle. So when the person we say like if they are extrovert, it means that they, you can see them hanging out with the friends and families in these kind of like restaurants and bars and those kind of places, having a lot of parties, birthday parties, and all those things. Then self-esteem, okay, people who I mean have a higher esteem about themselves. So these kind of people, you can see them like well dressed, very orderly. So what happens, they may go for like a good brand items. I mean they like to dress themselves nicely, so people think very nicely about them, think high of them. Okay, they I mean these kind of people use those kind of products and services. And then dogmatism, that's the people who are very close minded. Okay, so close minded people, I mean they really don't bother about the outside world, they do whatever they want. So their choice of products or services will be different from the other traits of people. Then aggressiveness, people who are very aggressive in sense like they are very like easily sensitive, get very angry. I mean like very fast. Oh, these kind of people usually buy things which are like they want to see a movie which is released on the first day, or they want to buy a product which is just like launched. They don't really worry about the quality. They want to like be adventurous, something like that. So aggressive kind of people who are adventurous want to buy new things which is launched and all those things. So from this we can understand that the product and services a consumer use is also related to the kind of trade, I mean, the trade they possess. So self-concept theory suggests that people possessions contribute to and reflect their identity. So what happens, according to the traits they people possess, and it reflects their identities. Brands may also have some personality. Some brands are like considered to be very aristocratic. Some are like more economical. Some are like average. So it depends upon their country of origin, the kind of product I mean that brand is I mean brand is into it, and then the prices. So all those things, what kind of needs it fulfills. So brand also we can say has its own personality. Then psychological factors. When we discuss about psychological factors, there are four things into that. one is motivation, another one is perception, then learning, and the beliefs and attitude. So, what is a motivation? Motivation is a drive, is a need that is sufficiently pressing to direct the person to seek satisfaction. So, what happens? The actually, which is something triggers us to do something. Okay, so someone says, "Oh, I was motivated to get the first rank in the class." Okay, so that I mean, I can be the class leader. Okay, so that people look at me like I'm so great, or like I'm a genius. So everyone has their internal drive or something which triggers them to do something. So that is called motivation. So Maslow, Abraham Maslow is his full name, is the one who come up with the management person who come up with the hierarchy of needs. So he explains that the people needs are driven by at a particular times, like according to the Maslow, Abraham Maslow's, the need is like in a hierarchy. So once one need is fulfilled, the person will go to the next need. So he has like divided the needs in terms of physiological needs, which includes hunger and thirst. So after that, it's a safety need, which is security and protection. After that, social needs, that is a sense of belonging, okay, and love. And next one is a esteem need, which is a self-esteem, recognition, and status. And the next one is a self-actualization needs, such as self-development, realization. So according to him, okay, so a person need, okay, will be I mean, a person will be going from one need to another once the basic need is fulfilled. Someone is I mean, they are happy with the physiological needs, then they go to the safety needs. Once the safety need is fulfilled, they go for the social needs. So this is the sorry, so this is the kind of thing that he has come up with. But later, there are a lot of, I mean, theorists, they say not necessary a person or will go from this one level to another. Okay, other people have proved that, but still, this Abraham Maslow theory was very famous because this is the first one to lay, first theory to lay a very strong foundation in the topic of motivation. So we tend to study Abraham Maslow's theory when we talk about or when we discuss about motivation. Then physiological need factor is a perception. So process by which people select, organize, and interpret information to form a meaningful picture of the world. So what happens? Our perception determines what we use. Like if people say, I mean, fast foods are like a very healthy choice. I mean, it gives me a lot of happiness and it gives me I mean, spending time during weekdays or weekends in chain outlets is something very great. Okay, then that is the perception. And if people say, oh, frequenting fast foods, especially chains, are not very good because most of them have junk foods. Okay, so that is the perception. So uh, the topic is just, I mean, frequenting the fast foods, but what happens, the perception of people differ, and these perceptions are formed based on their experiences, their exposures. Okay, experience exposures includes what they come across in those situations, and what they hear from their family, friends, and all those things make them to determine. Like in this picture we see there is a glass where there is a water up to the I mean middle of the glass. Okay, in other words, there is a half glass with half glass empty and half filled. So one party is saying that the glass is half full, the other person is saying that it's half empty. So both say the same thing, but one is saying in a very positive manner, the other one is looking at the glass in a very negative manner. So the information or the scenario is same, but how we perceive is different. Again, this depends upon the mindset of the people. This perception, as I mentioned, depends upon the experience we have with a particular person or a place and all those things. That's how we all form perceptions. Okay, even education, occupation, our culture, okay, which includes religion and all those things. So all those things helps a person to form perception. So based on the perception, people use that. Okay, if I say, if have a perception that it is a definitely we should have some exercise equipment at home, okay, so that we are healthy. So that's my perception, that my perception is that being healthy is very important for us to be successful in life, happy in life. Okay, some other person may have a different different perception. They say not necessary, people can be healthy even without doing exercise, people can be healthy without doing exercise. So that is that person perception. So according to the perception, so what happens, people thinking will change, and this will may lead to choose a different product or services. So perception can be influenced. Okay, what is the selective attention, selective distortion, and selective retention? So what happens? People tend to look at the things what they think is very important. That is called selective attention. Okay, selective distortion means even though it may be important, people are interested, they will never look at that. Selective retention means people will look at the things which is of very important to them, and then they will keep that in their mind. Okay, whatever is not important, they may not look. Even if they look, it won't go into, and it will be remembered in the mind. That is called selective retention. So consumers tend to look at things, avoid things and remember things which is give them meaning, which is very important for them. Then perception. Selective attention is the tendency of people to screen out most of the information to which they are exposed. That is, they are like interested, they know something about that. Again, selective distortion is the tendency of people to interpret information in a way that will support what they already believe. Okay, if they believe that is important, they remember. If they believe that is not important or something they don't never come across, they just ignore it. And then retention, it is a tendency to remember good points made about a brand they favor and to forget good points about the competing brand. So they whatever they like in terms of brand or product, they remember, or whatever they don't like, they just ignore. Then next one is a learning. So what is learning? Defined as a changes in individual behavior arising from experience. So what happens? That's why they say more people are learned, more they learn. What happens? They are more flexible. They are more what do you say? Critical thinking people. So it occurs due to the interplay of drive, stimuli, cues, and responses and reinforcement. Again, here, learning is more into understanding and collecting information related to a product and services. So, strongly impacted by consequences of individuals' behavior. Behavior with the satisfactory results tends to be repeated. Say for instance, when a person uses a particular product or services, so what happens if that particular product or services really fulfill the needs and wants? Then what happens? They will be stimulated to buy that product again and again. Okay, so this leads to a repeat purchase. So psychological factors, beliefs and attitudes. Okay, again, a belief is a descriptive thought that a person holds about something. It's about a knowledge, it is about opinion and faith. These things are very important because we discuss about perception. So a person perception about a place, a particular product or a particular service is formed, the perception is formed based on the belief. Okay, belief means what he think about that. And attitude, depending upon their belief and the perception, the attitude changes. If I think the fast food is frequenting fast food is not a very healthy choice, that perception I form based on my experience. In the fast food, it may be my personal experience, is maybe the experience of my friends. Okay, so it may be something what I see, what I read, what I come across. Okay, so based on my belief, I form a perception. When I form a perception, my attitude will be there. So my attitude will be like no, something like that. Okay, if I think like exercise equipments are a must for all kind of age group peoples, then what happens then, I mean my attitude will be yes when I see that kind of any equipment shops or gymnasiums and all those things. A person consistently favorable or unfavorable evaluations, feelings and tendency towards an object or idea. So this is like a simplified model of a consumer behavior. So that's all for this class. We will discuss the rest of the topic in the next class. Thank you.